Many fascinating stories of the rise and fall of cube manufacturers over the years, but none more so than the V-Cube company. After teasing their products for a very long time, they finally released the V-Cube 5, V-Cube 6, and V-Cube 7 on June 19th, 2008 to great fanfare. Their cubes were better than anyone else's at the time, but nobody uses them in serious competition anymore. This is what happened. Back in 1981, a Greek engineer named Panagiotis Verdes came across the Rubik's Cube for the first time. He was fascinated with the idea and believed that it was possible to create cubes with more layers. Working on the idea in secret, he came across the idea of using conical cuts, which solved the main issue, namely making sure the corners would stay attached to the rest of the mechanism. In 1985, he completed his initial design for a 5x5 and realized that it could work for any size of cube. However, without any source of information on the development of the original cube, he put the sketches in a drawer and left them for 20 years. Then, in 2002, he came across the Rubik's online shop, where he saw that along with the classic 3x3, they were selling the 2x2, the 4x4, and the 5x5, but no 6x6. Realizing an opportunity, he applied for a patent for his designs before starting a company, Olympicube. 2003 was the first year that anyone in the cubing community learned about the company. In a message to the speed-solving Yahoo group, the company claimed that the cubes of the 21st century are now ready to become reality with the invention we describe in our website, www.olympicube.com. Please check it out and send us your comments. The fledgling community was not impressed. With no photos of actual cubes, no granted patent, and the bad spelling, many suspected that it was a hoax or spam. Dan Gosby, organizer of Worlds 2003, was particularly cautious, claiming that there was a Trojan that would be activated if you replied to their emails, and that they were under investigation by 7towns. In 2004, the patent was granted, and after realizing that the Twisty Puzzles forum was a much friendlier place, Olympicube announced the patent to the world there. Soon after, they claimed that the 6x6 with flat sides would be available to purchase within 3 months. There was much rejoicing. Then, nothing. Apart from a couple messages here and there, the deadline came and went with no information as to what was happening. People were disappointed. Olympicube tried to reassure everyone, but with no evidence that any prototypes had even been made, there wasn't much they could do. The start of 2005 changed that. Without warning, the website had a video of the 6x6 in action. Finally, for the first time ever, the community had a chance to see a real working 6x6. Seeing the cube actually being turned made a lot of people extremely excited, and everyone wanted to get their hands on one. In April and July, more pictures were released showing the cube in mid-turn, with a pattern, and in Greece. Around the same time, it received an honourable mention at the International Puzzle Party 25, and George's Helm was sent a prototype. In 2006, a prototype was sold on eBay, and just 2 weeks later, a 5x5 prototype was unveiled. Ever so slowly, throughout the year, more and more information was teased and released, including a 7x7 prototype also sent to George's Helm. Frank Morris was invited to meet with Verdes' son, Konstantinos, to test out the 5x5 and 6x6. In October, he was sent 2 7x7 prototypes and created a video of him solving one soon afterwards, which became extremely popular throughout the community. Progress started slowing down quite a bit in 2007, however. Despite everything that had come before, the website stayed mostly stagnant, and there was nothing actually new coming from the company. Once again, people grew impatient and started to question whether they would ever actually be released. Things started moving again when a 6x6 was brought to Worlds 2007, and Chris Hardwick successfully solved it while blindfolded. Finally, 2008 came. Olympicube decided to change their company name, and on the 11th of January, completely overhauled their website, focusing on their new name, V-Cube. Soon afterwards, they announced an official launch in September, with a pre-launch period starting in June. It looked more and more likely that they would actually be released. On June 19th, 2008, the VCube 5, VCube 6, and VCube 7 began to be sold to the public.
Alright guys, I just got my order yesterday for the VCube 6 and 7 that I got from VCubes.com. In case you were wondering, I ordered it on June 24th, and I got it.
Packaging is a little beat up.
Okay, so as the title suggests, this is the 6x6 VCube unboxing and review. We're going to start with the unboxing, of course.
Over the following months, people were receiving and unboxing their brand new VCubes. Very quickly, people were amazed. The VCube 5 was instantly the best 5x5 on the market, and the VCube 6 and 7 were very quickly considered masterpieces of cube engineering. It seemed like VCube could do nothing wrong. Soon, the 6x6 and 7x7 were added as official WCA event categories, and people started competing very quickly. As time went on, and people got used to them, people started wondering what the next VCube to come out would be. Would it be the VCube 8? Or would they do the VCube 2 and work up? Many people were hoping that a VCube 4 would be released, as at the time, a decent 4x4 cube did not exist. What a lot of people didn't consider at the time was that Seven Towns is extremely protective of design trademarks, which made it much harder for VCube to easily make anything below a VCube 5. There have been a lot of cases of Seven Towns demanding that cube stores take inventory down due to alleged trademark violations in the past. This doesn't really happen these days, but they claim that hundreds of millions of unlicensed cubes are seized by customs every year. Whatever the case, VCube didn't want to risk it. The VCube 4 wasn't going to happen. Instead, in September of 2009, VCube released the VCube Illusion and the VCube Dazzler, which were both VCube 7s with different coloured plastic. The reaction within the community was rather mixed. While some were happy about the new cubes, others were criticising the company for not bringing out anything really new. Nevertheless, the cubes sold reasonably well, and it wasn't a huge issue. After all, it took 5 years to bring out the first 3, who knows how long it'd take until the next one. Then they brought out flag cubes. These were cubes with colour schemes based on European flags, such as Germany, Finland, Russia, and so on. This is probably where the downhill slide started, as no one asked for these cubes, and no one really bought these cubes, and so they languished in the online shop with criticism abound. And then came December 2010.
This is Donovan with Lubix Cube.
And then Brad, Puzzle Addictions.
And we've come across an issue that's taking place right now, primarily on eBay is where this is starting at. I can no longer have the Ultimate Lubix Guhong on eBay because of a claim from Virtus that it is a patent infringement that they have. So after doing
VCube had filed a patent infringement claim with PayPal, claiming that the Dion Guhong and the Lingyun were infringements. It went through, and PayPal, as well as eBay, which owned PayPal at the time, started disabling accounts of people selling the cubes and taking down eBay listings. This wasn't the first time they had filed patent infringement claims. The Maru 4x4 had been targeted before, but no one paid much attention since nobody denied it was a knockoff. However, the Dion cubes were incredibly popular at the time, and not many people saw similarities between the cubes and the patent. The Lubix Cube shop was hit particularly hard, as apart from lube, their main product was the Ultimate Lubix Guhong, and they were forced to stop selling it. This gave rise to a lot of anger in the community, with many people calling for boycotts of all VCube products. On the 1st of January 2011, VCube issued a statement saying that they would pull the patent infringement claim and that sales of Dion and Maru cubes would resume effective immediately. For some people, however, it was too little too late. The VCube brand had been tarnished in many people's eyes, and they didn't plan to return anytime soon. The final nail in the coffin came with the release of the VCube 3 little over a year later. This was a cube that many people claimed had pieces that were extremely similar to the Dion Guhong, but when Crazy Bad Cuber started asking about this on their Facebook page, the representative came off as rude, sidestepped the questions, and ended up deleting all the comments regarding the cube. VCube still exists today, of course. The company currently has cubes ranging from the VCube 2 all the way up to the VCube 8, and they recently announced the release of the VCube 9 on their Facebook page. However, they aren't anywhere near as popular today. They mostly sell their cubes in retail stores and don't target the speedcubing market. One of their biggest services is the Create Your Cube site, where someone can get custom pictures printed directly onto the cube, but even this is somewhat controversial. In any case, it seems very unlikely that they will ever regain the highs that they had several years ago. The cubing community has moved on.